I'm a psychologist over at the Dental Heart Health Program at Jacksonville Hospital. Today's presentation is about fulfilling the communication needs of your deaf child during the holiday. Good. Why we're having this presentation? It's very important to know what the difference is. I know that Adam was when he prepared the conversation, we had experiences. I felt that I could not present on this topic because I haven't been there. That I have not experienced. I am not deaf. I'm an adult. So it is the first-hand experience that we're going to be sharing here from my perspective, from what I've heard from patients, and from Adam's own experience. You want to add anything to that?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I was born deaf. I was born as a deaf individual, and I grew up with an oral education. So I didn't learn sign language until I was 18 years old. All of my family is hearing, and they didn't know how to sign as well. So I've had many special and unique experiences that I want to share with you. My experience is not applied to all people. Many deaf people have a lot of involvement and socialize, and so I want to tell you a little bit more about my background growing up, actually. I was deaf and I had my hearing aids, which meant that I could function as hard of hearing. I could talk on the phone, I could communicate with hearing people very easy with no problem. But now that I'm 26 years old, and soon I'm going to become a psychologist, but my focus, I'm thinking about the holidays, it's going to is iffy. So, in order to be a successful person, the holidays have always been a difficult time for me. So I want you to let you know my experiences, and maybe that can help you. Socializing and interacting with your kids is best. So I want you to understand, parents are busy, they're very busy, and they blame a lot of other people. So it's really hard to keep in mind what a deaf child is going through at the same time. Make sure in your house everything is compatible. Don't forget about the need of your deaf children, okay? So I have a presentation, and hopefully that'll help you to be able to become more aware, more knowledgeable, to prepare for that. I love my family. I get along with them wonderfully, but still there's some frustrations that are involved with that. And I hope that'll help you to understand better as well. So is everything clear so far? Everything's good? Yeah? Okay.
Like Adam said, it's holidays will be very hectic. You have to prepare the turkey, you have to decorate the house, you have to clean the house, you have to make sure if some people are coming out of state, you have to make arrangements to provide and so on. So it's very easy to forget how communication happens, or the nuances that it's going to incorporate with that child. Now, what does the holiday mean to you? Typically, when you think of a holiday, what do you think of? Anyone? Family, okay.
Socializing.
Socializing, absolutely. Parties, yeah, we like parties. What else? Who else?
They said food.
Food, yes. That's my favorite part, most definitely. So we have all these assumptions, all these things that we look forward to. Enjoyable time, traditions, sense of belonging with the ones that you love, giving, receiving, and appreciation for those that you care about. This is an opportunity we give gifts or receive gifts. We give food to the people that we care. We share a moment, we share a time with them. And it really is about a really special time and really creating memories for your deaf child. You want to build positive memories with your kids.
My experience, just so I can share it with other deaf people as well, they don't have wonderful positive experience with their families during the holiday time. They feel like they're left out of the holidays. For example, I've heard some stories where they prefer to, stay in college with their deaf friends and then go home for the holidays with their family. So, it's a really hard time for all of them. You want to be able to build some positive memories, some positive experience early, and keep that going throughout their childhood. And so that your child will want to go home for the holidays, will want to visit you. And also, you have to make some accommodations, change some things around as well for that child.
There's one, the active building, I want to add a little bit to what you said. The active building, just let me give you an example of actively building. What does actively building mean? There was I went to a workshop and I heard this story speak, and the presenter said that there was a mother that receives a call, right, from her mother, the grandmother, and they were getting ready to go out to visit the grandmother for the holidays. Because this happening somewhere along where it's cold, she's like, hey, let me get the mittens. Make sure that the children wear the mittens. So they tell the children, wear the mittens. And so the children go get the mittens. When they come back, they realize that the mother remembers, the grandmother had lots of mittens for them. So why did those deaf, for the hearing show, for the children to go out and wear the mittens that the grandmother had bought for them? And so the mother explains to the children, that is, your grandma is going to be so happy that you're wearing the mittens, you're going to be warm, she's going to feel so proud that she wears something that it means something to her. So go ahead and wear the mittens because your mother is going to really appreciate that. So she's busy, she's doing all these things, and all of a sudden there comes the deaf child and she tells, oh, go ahead and wear the mittens. And she goes, she will get the mittens, a different kind of mittens. She comes back and the mother said, no, wear the mittens, grandmother, wear. Why? It's cold outside. The explanation that the hearing kids received was so much more in depth, so much more, with so much contact, with so much more emphasis in building the relationship to their family, where the deaf child, just because of convenience or maybe not the parents' inability to communicate with them, they can only afford to say it's cold outside because they don't have the sign, because they don't have the communication. So that is what we mean as actively building positive memory for your child, so that those little nuances of that experience be shared with them.
Parents' expectations for the holidays and children's expectations are not going to be the same. Children have very basic ideas of what the holidays mean to them and the traditions mean as well. So your child is looking forward to the holiday because they want the gifts. They're looking forward to the presents, the special foods that day that are present, people coming to the house to interact and socialize. And also like Easter eggs, to get the Easter egg, that's a good idea for you. They're looking for that very special time. And they keep that in mind, the gifts, the good things that come along. The traditions and what they mean and why we celebrate those holidays, those are basic needs that they don't typically know about.
Right, oh, definitely. We all have basic needs. And this is where the psychological jargon starts, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this hierarchy of needs, Psychology 101. We all have basic needs. The basic needs are the very bottom are the physiological needs. The need for food, water, shelter. If those needs are not fulfilled, you will become sick. The secondary needs are the need for safety. Not only that you have food, but you need to feel sure that there's going to be more food coming tomorrow, the day after, and the day after. You have to be sure that not only that you have to have shelter. The shelter is one of those safety is, because you're not going to be, nobody's going to attack you, nobody's going to harm you. Then the following is the need of the loneliness. The loneliness and love. And this is where the holidays is an opportunity for us to promote this need. The need for belonging, the idea that we belong to a family. I am attached to somebody, a group of people. We have traditions, so we have all of these things. Then we go to self-esteem, knowledge, aesthetic needs, self-realization, and transcendence, which is something that we're not going to be, we're not going to elaborate for the purposes of time.
Also, I wanted to add the physical needs as well. You have to be straightforward. There's food, there's home, there's safety, there's water. That's pretty straightforward, but also with safety. Okay, for example, let's suppose your child is deaf, completely deaf, and imagine he's watching TV, okay, and it's on mute. Is he going to understand what's happening? Is he going to be able to follow that story? It's what your deaf child has experienced. You know, all these things are going on and happening, and they're going over his or her head, and they don't feel safe in that environment. They don't feel completely safe. And that goes up to being able to relate and that closeness and safety with your family. With hard of hearing children, maybe they could speak, but imagine they're watching TV. And, you know, it's a different language, Italian or Spanish, and some other language that they don't know. And they're watching TV, and it's going over their head as well. A lot of people are chattering, but they can't follow it. Do you think they feel safe? They don't. That's, you know, some of the kids' experiences. They don't feel safe. They don't feel that connectedness with their family and belongingness with their parents. So, also, maybe some of your parents know sign language, and you can communicate with your children, and other family members know sign as well. And that's just very rare. You know, they'll come over to the house and they'll be chatting away, and your child's going to feel left out of the situation. Things may not be clear for them. So, is that clear?
So far?